All right. I'm gonna go live. Oh. All right, I think we're live.
Yay! Are we? Let's take a look here.
I got the notification.
All right. It looks like garbage, but we're live all together.
Let's take a look here. Yay!
Weirdest podcast episode ever.
Worst. So, can I give a special?
We're off. Just
Hey, wait! Before you do that, fire noise.
Yeah. So before we say anything, can I give a special fuck you to YouTube for stopping Google Hangouts? You guys can go suck a big giant dick because congratulations, you had a great service and you fucked it up. Good job, guys. Good job.
There was really no reason to change the platform, but you did anyways.
So we scrambled and have now come up to the point where we have a working, somewhat ability to go live.
I'm doing us on YouTube right now, and it's the best of what we can do for now.
We will figure, guys. So we will figure something out as we progress through. But you know what? Regardless of that, I said we're all together. We can talk. We can still podcast. So
right. And you can see all of us.
And
we can talk.
I've always wanted to be on top of Larry, and you know what? Now I get to be.
That qualifies for it's been a week.
It
right?
has been a week.
Oh my god! What a mess, man.
Well, you guys can see 27 minutes later, we are finally live. It took us that long to kind of figure it out, but we're here.
Hey, also quick shout out to AT&T because my computer hasn't crashed. Quick shout out to AT&T, fiber internet.
Nice. Study Boy says to use Zoom. Unfortunately, we can't. Into it. Yeah, we might do Zoom, but we don't want to have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
So maybe Study Boys or Study Boy New Zealand. Let us know if are you using the free one or are you using the paid version to do your stream? Because if you're using the free one, we're definitely going to switch over to that.
I think the free one. I think you're limited on how many people you can have in it.
Dude, as long as it's 4, I think fine.
No, I think it's
yeah, right.
Special guests.
Well, okay, so 5. We need 5.
Maybe 6. We've had 6 on before, haven't we?
I'm gonna guess that they probably limited out to 10.
Worst case scenario, we pay for it. I don't know. Just whatever.
We'll talk.
We'll figure it out. But anyways, besides that, like I said, let's get going with the episode.
What episode is it, guys?
Episode 9. Okay. I'm gonna rewind.
All right, now we're back. Do your real intro.
Real intro. Reboot. All right, what is going on, everyone? What is going on? Welcome to this week's episode 95 of the STS Guys. I am Jeremy.
Hey, it's Larry.
Hey, guys, it's Nate.
And I'm Scott.
And we are the STS Guys, a weekly podcast with episode 95 having the shittiest video ever. What is going on this week, guys? It's been a week.
It's been a week.
It's definitely been a week, to be honest here. Like, especially this. I mean, this is our fucking... We've got 95 episodes, and this is the bullshit that we still deal with.
Yeah. In like over a year live on YouTube, and this is the first time we're running triple. Thank God we didn't have a special guest this week. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say.
No, this is the first change in platform that we've had since we started doing live streams. So, 27 minutes to get us up and running again is not that bad.
No, when we scrambled. Like, honestly, we did not realize that we couldn't stream with Hangouts anymore until about 15 minutes before the stream was supposed to start.
Oops.
But you know what?
Oopsies.
It doesn't matter. So we're live now. We're going.
And, we got it.
And I said, does anybody have It's Been a Week story? Because I have several. It's been a week story.
I think you have probably the most epic, Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy has the most. It's been a week. But I have one.
All right, Scott, you kick us off first, then I'll go.
So I posted a little thing up on my Instagram. So if you guys want to go check it out and go see, I actually got to do something kind of cool this week, which was go to a theater that served alcohol. And get to rewatch the original Jurassic Park movie in theaters again, Dolby Sound, everything. Like they did a really good job of bringing that movie back, and it's just nostalgic getting to watch Jurassic Park in theaters again. And I can tell you, man, that T-Rex roar in the Dolby Digital like surround sound is choice. Like that is amazing.
It's one of those movies that never gets old. And I remember seeing the original in the theater, but I would love to see it again in theater. Yeah. Like you said, that today's technology, it would be amazing.
Yeah, I will tell you this, it still holds up. Like there are some like wonky like CGI, but for the most part, like a lot of the effects still hold up. And they gave me these cool little beer glass shaped glasses as a little take home. They actually gave a bunch of swag. You guys, I think Jeremy, you were out on your It's Been a Week, but I sent some pictures. They gave out some sexy Jeff Goldblum stickers, the glasses, and some other cool swag to go along with it. So it was a cool event, and it was really fun.
No, I saw that. That's awesome. No, there's a lot of theaters here in Austin that do something similar to that, where they replay the old movies, and like I said, it's great. Jurassic Park's one of those good movies too, just because it's actually one of those ones that holds up really well. Even for like 1993, that thing was a technical marvel.
Yeah, it really was. And I was watching to see like what points I'm like, what points don't have good CG, and there's maybe a couple where you see like the Brachiosaurus where it's like the huge things that clearly they couldn't do the puppets, but like when they did the thing, like it was CG over a puppet. So I think that gave it a lot better life, that like there wasn't any weird like, uncanny valley movements that would happen. Like the puppet had to be able to do whatever that the CG was for it to be able to get it to show up. So it actually, like if you rewatch it, there's a couple points where you're like, meh, but for the most part, that was it was really, really nice. Yeah, Funkos with Chris says he thought they were coasters. I thought they were coasters too, and then I found out they're stickers, and have been placing them all over the place now I can share the sexy Jeff Goldblum with everybody else.
Hey, it's not saying you can't create coasters out of those, though.
You know what though? I think I might be creating a couple of coasters. I'm using like a really crappy Bell's Brewery coaster right now, and I'm pretty sure I need to now make some coasters with sexy Jeff Goldblum on it.
Is this the part of the podcast where we show our coasters? Because I have the Marvel Collector Corps Iron Man coaster.
I have a boxer coaster.
Hey, I can't reach my coaster right now.
Yeah. They are the right size. Like I really could, I think, stick that sticker to like a thing of like cork and then just like spray it with some like epoxy or something to get it to be nice and solid and call it good. I might do that.
No, you should. Well, or even get some plexi and cut some round
exactly,
plexi out and do it that way. No, that's awesome. No, I'm glad that you were able to experience that, because, like I said, it's you being as big of a Jurassic Park fan that you are. Like I said, that's awesome.
Yeah, like my wife saw it come up and she like immediately bought tickets to it because she's like, "Yeah, we're going to this."
Yeah, we did something.
Scott, did you see it in the theaters in '92? Do you remember?
I saw it about 8 times, I think, 8 or 9 times in the theaters back in the day. Like, it was the one thing when I grew up, I was like, I want to be a paleontologist. And I was like, oh, as I grew up, I was like, paleontologists don't make money. And I want to make money with my life.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
That happens. No, they did something similar over here that we had tickets for the Big Lebowski. And so it's
nice.
It's becoming one of those things where you don't think it's as cool as it is, but it's way cooler than you think it is. Like, so once you're sitting in the theater and experiencing that movie all over again,
right.
it's a completely different experience.
Yeah. I went to they played the first Fast and the Furious movie at AMC one time, and like the DVD or whatever they were using to play it broke, so we didn't even end up seeing the movie. But so that was a total disappointment. But you didn't get anything extra. So I think the cool thing that Scott got was you actually get extra stuff.
Right. They did like little events and everything. They are doing an upcoming one at Blazing Saddles that I think we should we should actually plan for and go check out, because
I've never seen Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, so Larry has not seen it, so we might be doing a STS Guys Blazing Saddles trip.
No, that'd be awesome. Nate's playing with action figures and making Superman fly.
He is playing with toys.
I tried to put them back there and they fell off instantly.
That's all good.
So,
all right, you guys.
Soups is gonna stay down.
Yep.
Right. I also have.
What about you, Jeremy?
Yeah, Jeremy, why don't you tell us about your week?
It's like I said, it was a week. So I was traveling for work. So I was traveling over to Ireland, Dublin specifically, and so got to hang out with some really cool people over there. And then also, like I said, it was they treated me good over there. Like I said, it's a good work family over there. So just shout out to all my work family over there in Dublin. So shout out to those peeps. But anyways, like I said, got to do a little bit of sightseeing. Got to go to do some of the historic things. Like I said, go to the historic Temple Bar area. That was really cool. So Nate, I know you've been to Ireland before. So like I said, I know took a couple of your recommendations of things to go see. But I'm gonna highlight two things, two different events. One such event was basically in regards to just just a random occurrence that happened. And so we were walking down the street, and I said I mentioned something. I'm like, oh hey, there's that thing over there, and this person thought I was talking to them, and I wasn't talking to them. I wasn't kind of even interacting with them at all. But they thought I was talking to them, and then what ended up happening was this person then followed us around and showed us like around town, the entire night.
I thought you were gonna say they tried to fight you.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jeremy got in a fight. Oh no.
Yeah, there's more to that story, but we'll talk about that later. But probably the coolest thing that happened was actually on the flight home. So I'm going into the cabin, and so when you board the plane, so over to the right, is all the economy seats, and over to the left, as it is all the business class seats. And so I was sitting in the business class, and then go sit down in my chair, and so I'm in the very front row of the business class, and so in some business class flights you're facing each other, and this one, but you're all facing the same way. So I actually ended up really liking this. So I ended up looking over to my left. I'm like, man, that guy, there's a guy over there that looks super, super familiar. And I'm like, I can't, and I'm just trying to peg like where I've seen this guy before. And I'm thinking, and I'm looking back at it, and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, that's Donald Logue.
It's Sons of Anarchy.
Well, Sons of Anarchy, from Grounded for Life. He was
in Blade.
Yeah, he was in Blade. He was in The Patriot. Oh, yeah. He's been in a ton of different movies and TV shows, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's Donald Logue. And so completely random. It's an 8-hour flight because like I said, I had to go fly back into Chicago to get back to the United States, right? And so it's an 8-hour flight, and so we land. And then I finally am like, you know what? I'm just gonna confirm that it's him, because I've been looking at him this entire time, like questioning myself if I think it's him. And so I pull up his Instagram account, right? And I'm like, and I look at his photos. It's like, oh, headed back home from Ireland. I'm like, it's him.
It's definitely him.
On one of his photos, I say, hey, great photo. I'm like, and you're on my plane right now. And then he replies back to my comment and saying, we're stuck because in Chicago, which I knew was going to happen, like it always happens when I go through Chicago, I always get stuck on the runway for at least 45 minutes to an hour. Doesn't matter. Like I said, every single flight I've ever had has been delayed in Chicago. Chicago airport, I don't know what you need to do, but fix it. So he then responds back. He says, oh yeah, we're stuck on my comment. And then he starts looking at his phone and then looking like over at me. I'm like, yeah, that is kind of weird that I just commented on your post. I'm like, yeah. I did that. He's like, oh, how's it going, man? I'm doing good. And we had like a 45-minute conversation, basically being stuck on the runway together. And we started talking about like his past roles and stuff, where he grew up. He used to manage bands in Texas. Had this entire like interaction with one another. He's a super, super nice guy. And then so on my social media account, I don't know if you saw the picture that we had. That's when we're after an hour of being stuck on the runway. I'm like, hey, can we take a picture together? He's like, yeah, man, let's take a picture together. Take the picture. And like I said, it was a cool interaction getting to hang out with him. So shout out to Donald for being so cool to his fans.
That is really awesome, man.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
super cool.
And I said, not saying anything, but he may stop by one time.
What?
That would be amazing.
Wow, that sounds pretty epic, actually.
So, well, kind of speaking of guests and things that we've had, though, Jeremy, that is an amazing thing. But segues. If you guys haven't got a chance, also this week, Larry and I also had a celebrity encounter. We got a chance to talk with Grace Rolick, who is the voice of Connie, Steven's girlfriend. I don't know if it's an official relationship quite yet, but in the show Steven Universe. So super cool person. She was really amazing to talk with and get to hang out with. So if you haven't gotten a chance, go check out our chat with her all about an upcoming film she has going on and the Steven Universe movie.
Episode 94 of the STS Guys podcast, audio only.
Yes.
But yeah, it's on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, all those places that you can listen to podcasts, even Podcoin.
Yeah, it was a good interview. You guys had some great questions for her, and she seemed really friendly. So if you guys are interested, you should definitely check it out. It was a really cool interview.
Yeah, I will reiterate. Yeah, she was super cool. We did get a chance to talk a lot more than what we had recorded, and I would love to have her on again to talk to her more, because I think there's a lot more that we can talk to her about.
Very cool.
So,
pretty cool, man.
All right. So now let's do another segue here. So I mentioned a movie that's coming out here that was announced at San Diego Comic-Con, right? That's that Steven Universe movie for all the Steven Universe fans. But there was a shit ton of other announcements at San Diego Comic-Con, and that is what we are here today to all talk about. So I kind of want to go around the room with everybody on here. Let's talk about what is, of all the different announcements, what's the one that you're most excited for?
It's like these movie announcements are different phases, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited for the next phase of the MCU. They dropped some heat.
Did.
I don't know what I'm most excited for. Maybe Doctor Strange.
So here's the thing I was kind of not necessarily worried about, but it makes it kind of strange, is a lot of those phase announcements were the Disney Plus shows, though, too. Like there seemed to be less movies and more a big focus on those shows. So it almost concerns me that we're going to have a lot of content that if you don't have those shows, you're going to miss out on for the next kind of upcoming phase.
No, I don't know. Like I said, I'm curious to know your guys' opinion of a lot of the stuff, because for me, honestly, from the Marvel, I was actually kind of a bit underwhelmed as far as what they presented.
Well,
just because, like I said, everything that they mentioned, I pretty much knew already was coming out based upon all the stuff that they've already released. Like I already knew about the Eternals with Angelina Jolie. I already knew. I said about Thor, because like I said, that would happen a few days before Comic-Con. They leaked that that Taika Waititi is coming back for the new Thor movie. I was expecting, like I said, a big surprise. We already knew there was going to be a follow-up to Doctor Strange. Like I was expecting a big
end movie, right? Like something to end the phase out, and there was nothing.
Well, and they didn't even show the full phase, and so I'm hoping, like I said, at D23 that they're going to show the other half of that, just because I was expecting some and they talked about it a little at the end of the panel. So they're like, oh, I didn't have time to talk about Fantastic Four, X-Men, or this, that, or the other. So Kevin Feige kind of made a joke with that. But I was expecting at least like some type of official announcement to happen or something.
Let's be honest, Jeremy. You wanted Fantastic Four. Come on.
I kind of did. Well, honestly, not even necessarily that. I kind of wanted just something like that, something that I didn't expect, like a oh, aha, wow type moment.
Yeah.
Blade wasn't good enough for you?
Blade is cool. Like, and the guy, I give my support to the guy who they have for it. Like,
sure, Kevin Feige is very excited about that.
Yeah. So
Blade was the biggest surprise for me, and like I don't dislike that actor, but he's no Wesley Snipes to me. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be able to replicate what Wesley Snipes could do there.
Yeah, have you seen Wesley Snipes lately though? There's no way that dude's coming back.
No, I'm not saying I want Wesley Snipes current day. I'm just saying when he played that role, he made it his own. It was awesome. I really hope this guy can like give us a good Blade.
Well, and I'm wondering. I said here's my theory with Blade. So because no one asked for this movie, I'm like, who wanted another Blade movie? Because I honestly,
the guy who played it is the one.
No,
yeah.
I know, but I'm talking about like fan wise. I'm like who, like really like who wanted like another Blade movie? Like I think people are more inclined with like, hey, they want the stuff they haven't seen or continuations of bigger properties. I have a theory about this one. So Sony's doing the Morbius movie, right?
Yep.
And so
theoretically, yes.
Yes.
We haven't really heard anything for a while.
They've confirmed that they're doing Morbius.
It's definitely coming.
Yeah, it's definitely coming.
They've posted pictures, right? Like from the set, like the
they officially
the clapper, like the clapper thing, like it's official.
I'm thinking. I said, as weird as it sounds, I'm thinking this is the intertwine of basically bridging some of these characters over more than Spider-Man, kind of having this shared universe together to kind of intertwine some of these just slightly, so that way, since Blade is technically the full-on MCU now, living in the same universe as Spider-Man, that also basically brings a bridge over to where Spider-Man can exist in the Morbius movie and so on and so forth. Like, it's a weird conclusion to draw, but it's I don't know. It's weird that Blade was announced. Like out of everything, Blade. Like it's very weird.
So I'm gonna have to add another curiosity to it though too, is how are they gonna explain vampires, right? Like we've already had how many movies? 24 now, 25 MCU movies that have never dealt with like vampires at all, and now you're bringing in Blade, who, I mean, at that guy's age is in his middle ages, right? Like he's been operating for, like his fucking mom was bitten by a vampire at his birth, so that'd be back in the 70s or 80s, however old they decided to make him, right? Like, where have vampires been this whole time?
Yeah, and I think that's a good point to focus on, is like Blade focusing on vampires. We got the Eternals, which is like very out there.
Well, the
Eternals kind of.
I was gonna say the Eternals is easy because Thanos is an Eternal.
Well, like, I'm just talking. So I'm saying like universe expanding type stuff. So they're gonna have Doctor Strange be like crazy into magic with Scarlet Witch now. They're gonna expand that. They're going to have the Eternals, which feels kind of like the new Guardians, sort of like more teammates that are into the outer space and things that are going on. I just feel like Blade's like an expansion of that too. Like, okay, let's introduce vampires. Let's introduce all these different types of enemies to really expand the universe even more. That's what these movies kind of feel like, because it's not like your traditional Marvel stuff, because we've got different characters that they're focusing on now. They're trying to make people more important. Like, I feel like the WandaVision show is one of those things like, yeah, we understand that Wanda and Vision is a boring relationship, so let's try to show you something that makes them interesting and leads her into the next Doctor Strange. I don't know.
That's fair.
No, yeah.
I mean, well, I don't know, because it just depends on what time period it takes place, but that I hadn't really connected those dots yet, because, yeah, WandaVision comes out spring 2021, and then Doctor Strange comes out May 7th, 2021, and May feels a whole lot like spring to me, so they'll probably be pretty close together. It's good observation there, Nate.
Yeah, with the whole Blade thing, I just it's weird to where it's the one movie that I see that doesn't fit into the existing scheme.
Well, and what about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Well, that one actually fits more than what you think. Just because we're actually gonna get a vision of actually the real Mandarin now.
The real Mandarin.
Because so the Ten Rings are the Ten Rings of Power, which is basically that terrorist group that from basically Iron Man 3, and 1. So I said the Ten Rings and the Ten Ring Society have been around in the MCU, kind of in the background for a while now. So I'm actually kind of excited to kind of see some more of that backstory in regards to how they're actually going to kind of play into a little bit more. Yeah, it's Shang-Chi, but I'm more excited about the story that Shang-Chi is going to follow along kind of with that.
Plus, I just want to see with Shang-Chi a dude that has 0 powers beating the living crap out of all these superheroes just because he's that good at kung fu. Like, it's gonna be great. As long as he doesn't pull the Iron Fist and announce himself every 30 fucking seconds. I am the Iron Fist, sworn protector of Kunlun. We fucking know you said it 15 times in this episode.
I'm the Iron Fist. I am the Iron Fist.
Let it go, man. It got canceled. Let it go.
Thankfully, yes. I can't let it go. I will never forgive you guys for that one.
That was weird. Skype just kicked me out, but I'm back.
Oh, is it raining? Because I hear rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the weather here might be messing with my connection or something.
Yeah,
if we lose Nate, his house blew away.
Save the Mezco figures.
Somebody save my collection, please, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff too. If I lose any of that, I'm gonna cry.
Nate sounds like he's in an echoey room.
Yeah, he does now.
I think it's the rain.
Yeah.
Is it bad?
Yeah.
But so yeah, like, well, first up is Black Widow, but we have to wait until May of next year to get Black Widow. What do you guys like? They didn't tell us a whole lot, right? They gave out some hats. That was fun in Hall H, and a Black Widow poster, Andy Park print, which is pretty cool.
So, is it sad that I'm more excited to actually have Taskmaster?
He looks pretty cool, man, on that poster.
Yeah.
Like Andy Park, frequent Ace Comic-Con guest who I think we've all met before. I know I did.
Yeah, we did.
Right, really cool guy, really great art. But yeah, his version of Taskmaster looks really cool.
It's super cool, but like I really hope they don't kill him off so that we can have him come back, because he's a very underrated like Marvel villain, and I would actually like to see more people go up against him.
Well, I just love how
he'd be good for Spider-Man.
Yeah,
like I'd like him as a Spider-Man villain.
Well, yeah, just from the PS4 game, like I said, side missions, he, like I said, Taskmaster kind of was a Spider-Man foe. Oh, and kind of to your point, Larry, I think in terms of like direct comic translation, he probably has the best direct comic translation that I've seen. Like, he looks like legitimately awesome. Just
dude in body armor with the little helmet and the skull mask.
Yeah.
Like it's
And his shield. He's cool. Like, I didn't even know who Taskmaster was until that Walgreens exclusive Funko Pop came out like a couple years ago. So that's all I really know about Taskmaster. Yeah. Over there in Jeremy's shelf.
Yeah, over there where the blinding light is.
over there in the sea of Funkos.
Yeah.
But he's got a really cool design. So yeah, I'm excited. And like you guys said, we'll see, because this one's supposed to take place it's like a prequel-ish, right? It's before Endgame, before the snap, probably.
Which, yeah, it makes you think, like, I wonder why they're doing a Black Widow prequel. How will this expand the Marvel Universe or go into the next phase? Maybe we'll see something about an enemy that shows up later. Maybe Taskmaster has some mystical thing. I don't know.
Or maybe it's just the farewell to Scarlett Johansson and Black Widow. Like, I'm with you. Like, hopefully it ties in, but like as soon as you start getting your hopes up that things tie in, it's not going to.
I kind of was hoping that they would do the Black Widow movie as making a new version of Black Widow, because obviously multiple people, and with most comic characters, multiple people have carried the mantle. So to be able to put up a different person as Black Widow, and then maybe just use like flashbacks to Scarlett Johansson. I think to me that would have worked better. Again, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know how well it's going to do, but just I don't give two shits about her background. I'm sorry. Like, are we going to finally get to figure out, are we going to see Budapest finally? Like, she kept talking about having red in her ledger, and I couldn't give two flying fucks. Like, you're like one of the worst characters anyway. Like
Scott throwing shade.
Wow.
I am. Like, I am sorry. Like, her and Hawkeye, like, don't really interest me that much. Like, Hawkeye Kate Bishop, like, Hawkeye, like, fighting street thug things would be cool. But, like, what are you going to do when the super villains show up? Like, again...
Hey, Larry, earmuffs to your wife on this episode.
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
I know.
Black Widow is the thing in this house, man.
Yeah, no offense to anybody who likes her. I don't see the point. Again,
I'm excited.
Somebody's gonna fight you, Scott.
Someone will fight me. I'll. You know what? If I need an ass whooping, I'll take the ass whooping.
So here, would this movie? So would the movie make it worth it for you? If, like I said, at the end of the movie, end credit scene or wherever it shows up, Captain America shows up.
It's possible.
Old man Cap?
No.
Young Cap, because he's still young.
Well, so like, are you saying like, are you trying to say like, well, old man Cap when he's like growing old, like
with Peggy.
Because he was only defrosted a little bit before Avengers, so if it ends anytime before the like Iron, like it would have to go past Iron Man 2 in that movie for legit Captain America to come through. Yeah, Travis Moore says the point is money. That's why this movie's being made. But yeah, like to have Cap in it, you'd have to have it be the time travel back in time Cap.
No, and I think it's going to be the time travel. I said I think it can be the time travel back in time. The blah blah blah. The time travel back in time Cap. Just because of the recent rumblings of Captain America 4 coming out. So I don't know if you've seen this. I don't know.
What?
That's kind of crazy. I have not heard about that, but I wanted to talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that they have kept the name. Because isn't he called White Wolf now, and isn't he called Captain America now? So why are they focusing on these two names?
Pretty sure White Wolf is just his like name in Wakanda. I don't think that's his like official...
Well, I guess what I mean is he's trying to get away from the Winter Soldier label. Like, it's weird that they're bringing that name back up.
I wonder if it's just because I honestly think it's just name recognition, because if they say in terms of the title, if they say the Winter Soldier, everyone immediately recognizes that as Bucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I just think it's a marketing ploy.
No, totally.
And Scott's right. Like they only mentioned the White Wolf thing like once in passing, right, in the after credit scene or whatever, and then they kind of never brought it up again. And I'm totally with Scott. Like I think it's just that if you tried to put out a different name, no one's gonna know who it is. But like everybody knows Sebastian Stan is the Winter Soldier, so whatever.
Absolutely, I 100% agree with that.
And
so it would be interesting.
Zemo is supposed to be the villain.
Yeah, right. That's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
I think you got like these shows are going to be good, man. They're going to be good. And
if they put the same quality as MCU movies into it and the care to it,
they're going to.
They're going to. And as long as we don't get a fucking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 1 out of it, I think I'll be okay.
Well,
come on, these actors, this team, like they're going to be amazing.
It automatically has the biggest difference is because they can do whatever they want and they have the money. And it's gonna be like these. It's gonna be like all these other streaming service shows where they pump a ton of money into these shows just because they can. Like it's like just think of like any of these shows like on Netflix, HBO, you know, like Game of Thrones. Like Game of Thrones, the cinematic quality, like a cinematic quality TV show. And so I'm really excited that what they can actually do with these shows, especially gathering actually these stars that we've actually seen in the movies before. Mm-hmm. And so I don't anticipate them being garbage.
No, this is the Netflix killers, right? Disney Plus is going to destroy Netflix.
Well,
like Disney, how many billion-dollar movies has Disney released this year? Like they've got the money, like Jeremy said, they got the money, they got the properties. They got Star Wars too. Like
they got the shit that people want. Yeah,
they got all this, man. They're gonna blow it away. They could do like a live action Bugs Life, and people are gonna watch it. Like,
it's funny that you say that because I think they're also going to be expanding their animated stuff because with the
yeah.
What If, right?
Yeah, that has all the voices from the MCU characters we love.
Yeah, they
It's gonna
have
be
all
awesome.
the actors playing their own voices, and they've got some cool concepts. I read a little bit online. One of them that they're going to explore is what if Tony and Steve were actually friends during Civil War? Could they have been more ready for Thanos when he came?
Yeah.
No.
Like, I was lukewarm to the whole what if thing at first, but then as soon as I saw the voices were on board, I'm like, all right, they're serious about this. Like, it's not going to be just another cartoon series. It's going to be good.
No, it's
Yeah.
I am literally so pumped because literally
Yeah.
what if, like I said, the what if comics were actually some of my favorite comics back in the day, just because they
They're
explored
awesome.
just because they explored some like just
Yeah.
crazy fan service like type events. And I think literally so this animated show can do the same thing where it's a complete departure even from what they do in the comics, but it's a what if in the MCU. Like, hey, like kind of to your point, like I said, what if, you know, Captain America and Tony were friends, or hey, what if Captain America was never thought out, or you know, it just
Mhm.
it's all these different events that happen, or hey, what if, you know, Thanos did win, or whatever the stories they actually may be.
Yeah.
And I think
What if Thor did go for the head? Like, I would love that.
well,
That would be
and
cool.
I think
Yeah.
it's weird. Like I said, I don't know who they're gonna introduce, but I guarantee you at some point, I said we'll get a character introduction in animated form that'll translate into the big screen. I don't know who it'll
Yeah.
be. I don't know what they'll do, but I will automatically love that show even more. Of basically his origin story in the MCU is in an animated series, and then he makes a translation into real life. That'd be amazing.
That would be awesome. Yeah, there's so many cool possibilities. I'm with you guys. I'm really excited to see what they do. And they're going to give us probably some epic showdowns, some epic just like fan service with that show. I think that's kind of what it's for, is the fan service.
Yeah. And I think I just something clicked, right? I think season 1 will be cool, but then I bet season 2, like if they bring it back, they'll be
If
able to
it does
take more
well, yeah.
Yeah, which it's gonna do well. Like they'll take more risk and probably get some more even crazier storylines. So hopefully it does well and we get even more what if. That would be awesome.
Well, they are giving us a little bit more what if. It was, you know, what if Natalie Portman was relevant again in an MCU movie?
You know how
She's back, baby.
You know how she's
What do you
relevant
guys
again?
think about this?
Because they opened up the credit
I
card.
like that they're going. I like that they're going with the comic line of like basically kind of like unworthy Thor, right? Like ish going into it, but like I don't know. Natalie Portman was not the best in any of those movies. Like you could tell she was just kind of going through the motions with those other movies, and I really don't want to half-ass act.
No, she's
for something as good as this.
It's because of the money. Like I said, they
Yeah.
waved a whole
Now
bunch.
you got a lot of
They
money.
they
yeah,
waved
but-
a whole bunch of money at her, like because she
All
didn't
right.
even want to do it in the first place.
But
yeah,
was
like,
it
exactly?
was
like,
it her fault? Was it her fault, or was it like the bad script and storytelling from like those first 2 Thor movies?
Honestly, I think it was a little bit of both. We to not to discredit her, Natalie Portman is a good actress, right? She can do good roles. She just half-assed the Thor movies.
Well, yeah.
There was also a level of not giving a shit on her part that she did for that.
Jane
And
Foster,
I don't want her like half-ass acting through this movie again, because I was actually happy when they kind of just wrote her out for the Thor movie so that you can just move on from it and not have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think they figured out a lot more, right? This one's going to feel a little more like Ragnarok, probably, right?
Oh yeah,
What's the director's name?
Taika Waititi's coming
Taika
back.
Waititi,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, that dude's
he'll
back.
do great. Yeah.
Right, but they'll be able to write it in a way that Natalie Portman will be able to better perform, right? They can develop the character to work with her strengths. Like they've gotten smarter since Dark World.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you guys were talking about this earlier. Just Jane Foster does not seem like an interesting character to me. So they're really gonna have to work on bringing her back and making her relevant again.
So how does she get the hammer? Like why does she have to become Thor? Do you guys
Well, and
know?
I wonder. No, well, in the comics, it's one of the things that she has cancer, and it's the only thing that like stops the cancer. But then as soon as she like turns back into Jane, it comes back. So it's there's a big long storyline about it. But I just don't know, like, where's the hammer gonna come from, right? Like for the last we saw, Mjolnir was destroyed, and Cap took it back with him when he went and did all his errands, right? He had it when he went back in time.
That's a good point.
So he took it back to the timeline of Thor 2. So I really want to know, most importantly, out of everything, is how the fuck does she get the hammer again?
Well, you answered your question. I said, I'm telling you right now, you answered your question. It's because you made the joke about this before. You made the joke about this before. So Rocket had to basically get the ether out of Natalie Portman, right? Like how do they get it back in her? And so and I literally think that might actually have something to do with what creates that spin-off storyline.
Right, Captain America showing up to her and being like, "I'm really sorry about this, but I'm gonna have to stab you with this big ass needle."
No, I think there's no way to do it, and I think that's what replaces the cancer storyline part of, hey, that coming out of her is what basically creates her sickness, because they didn't do it right, or however,
and she needs to use the hammer to keep herself alive.
Yep,
just like in the storylines.
Yep, and I think that
clever.
might actually have something to do with it.
That's interesting, because I don't know anything about Lady Thor, but I was thinking, like, why would they need to replace Thor? And maybe it's because he's with the Guardians, which I was really hoping we'd get an announcement of a new Guardians, but we didn't.
Well, and the way they make it is that Thor is no longer bound by the law of the hammer, right? Like, he has Stormbreaker, and he can run at his own full. He has his own full power, so he doesn't really need that to move on. So you can have an entire Thor thing, keep him full powered, with the axe. He's got Stormbreaker, so why not give the hammer? The hammer could go to somebody else.
So
right, we've seen Captain America. I was saying we've seen Captain America wield it. Let's see some other people to go for it.
Yeah. So why didn't we get Guardians of the Galaxy 3 announced yet?
Because James Gunn. He replied on Twitter, said, because a fan asked that to him on Twitter, is like, hey, I'm still doing Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I'm just finishing. He needs to finish up Suicide Squad first.
Yeah, so that was the only reason Guardians is now delayed as long as it is because Gunn is obligated contractually to do the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, because they fired him. And,
they took so long to get him back, and they're like, between the time they had fired him and rehired him, he had already signed this deal to do Suicide Squad.
Yeah, well, it's not like did they really think that he wasn't going to go find more work? Right. But yeah, so and there was some weird things about timeline. So apparently it's supposed to be set after the events of Thor. So we probably won't get as Guardians of the Galaxy with Thor as part of the team.
After which Thor? After the new
one.
I'm confused.
Yeah. So apparently Thor is, in terms of timeline in the MCU,
Love and Thunder
is supposed to take place first in terms of the line.
Which makes sense.
Which potentially means Thor won't be part of the Guardians when it gets to James Gunn's version. I guess there's a potential that he is not going to be on the ship anymore.
Well, yeah, depending on how all this Jane Foster stuff goes down, like, who knows? That feels like it's going to shake up the whole Thorniverse. Mm-hmm. Is that a thing?
Thorniverse.
I like it.
I like it.
Tapspan says Thor versus Lady Thor. You think we're going to get a showdown? Maybe like a test of strength like we did in Avengers 1?
I don't know if he's assuming they're going comic book route, like if he's saving her life by being like, here, take this power. I don't see them doing like a Hulk versus Thor, Jane Foster versus Thor fight, but maybe.
Do you think Thor is going to be the one that gives her the power, or is it like more Mjolnir that kind of carries that?
I think it's going to be her being able to wield Mjolnir. I don't think Thor is going to be like consciously like, oh yeah, you can take this power. I think it's really going to be her finding herself able to wield Mjolnir, and then
what about Valkyrie? Maybe she fights Valkyrie.
Valkyrie would be cool. I actually want Lady Sif to show back up.
Oh yeah,
and Valkyrie's the new Queen of Asgard, right?
Right.
Apparently.
New Asgard.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. So
new Asgard.
Well, Asgard was destroyed, so we haven't even seen what this new Asgard might be.
By the time we get to Thor 4, I feel like that might not even be a thing anymore.
Maybe.
Right? They threw that out there to set something up, but
no,
I don't think
that was just to appease the people in the comics, because technically New Asgard in the comics is floating over the Midwest. So like Asgard does get destroyed in the comics. They rebuild it over the US. It is like a comic like
fan service. Fan service.
Yeah, fan service thing that they kind of hint to the fact that New Asgard has established itself in the US.
So what if the only show that we haven't talked about, Loki? What if Loki, going back in time, stealing the cube and disappearing, creates New Asgard and starts this whole new thing? I don't know. I think this Loki thing's gonna have they're gonna throw a wrench into the formula a little bit.
So Loki comes out. The Loki Disney Plus series comes out spring 2021, and Thor 4 comes out November 2021. So
they have some time, and again, they could make the timeline Loki the bad guy.
Right, the way they ordered these, I feel like is going to be very deliberate, and it's not going to be totally obvious to us until it happens. But yeah, like there's a reason Loki isn't like the first show out, that it's coming out right before Thor.
I think that one is planned. I just kind of want to hopefully figure out like what are they moving towards, right? Like Spider-Man hints a little bit that we have more cosmic based stuff. So are we going to get, with the Eternals, are we going to go against like a Celestial now? Is that going to be kind of one of our main kind of who's the next team up going to be against? And I wonder, is that a Celestial or what's going on?
Everyone's rumoring analysts. Like, I think
Analysts or Annihilus.
Annihilus.
Yeah.
Who?
Which
go ahead, Jeremy.
So Celestial.
He's another big Celestial. Like, so basically, he's actually bigger and badder than Thanos.
So I think that's an interesting point. Maybe you're going down the right track there, because I think we learned a lot about Thanos from Guardians of the Galaxy, which, like I said earlier, is kind of like the Eternals of this phase. Maybe Eternals teaches us a lot about this new villain.
And it's pretty early on, again, in this phase, right? Yeah. It's Black Widow, and then the second movie next November is going to be the Eternals.
Yeah, I think the Eternals is going to be kind of like our new version of the Avengers, right? Setting up, kind of the main bad guy, right? Avengers, Loki was the bad guy, but it really had that back end with Thanos kind of setting him up as the big bad for that next kind of run. So I'm hoping that we do get, like Annihilus or another Celestial, right? That's.
Do you even need a big bad like another Thanos?
I think they need to do another team up, right? Like
you need something where everybody is stretched to the max.
But who's going to be in it? Is it going to be the Eternals and Hawkeye and like it's not the same?
No,
Arrow guy. It's going to be Arrow guy.
Stephen Amell?
Yeah.
Well,
no,
that's a good point. Like, how else can they build up this team like they did?
So they're gonna have to build up with like, I hate to say like like you have Shang-Chi, right? You got at WandaVision. I'm really hoping that they're gonna come up with a whole. They were able to get Vision copied, so now we have Vision again, right? Wanda. You still have a decent amount of Avengers, and you can introduce new characters throughout all these storylines to kind of build that new team and make up a brand new Avengers team with an entirely different cast.
And that new Doctor Strange has the name Multiverse in the title. So maybe, they kind of tease this multiverse thing in Spider-Man Far From Home, like, oh, there's a multiverse. It ends up being a lie. But what if it's really true and Doctor Strange discovers this multiverse?
Well, I mean, we already saw the multiverse technically with Doctor Strange. Like when the Ancient One bings him out of his body and she sends him through all the different like universes.
True.
Right? He goes through all these different things, and like honestly where he fights at the end when he does the time loop, he is in an alternate universe, right? That is a separate universe from our own. Yeah. So they've already established the Doctor Strange universe works. And like what they do the mirror thing, which puts them in an alternate reality. So I don't trust Doctor Strange to actually set up a true multiverse because his is all mystical and fucked up anyway, right? There's nothing about it that's like gonna set up like they have all these teeny tiny multiverse things. Like he's gonna go to that kaleidoscope fucking universe and all that stuff as part of that. Like I know what they're gonna do.
These movies just all feel like cast expansion to me. Like Eternals cast expansion, Thor: Love and Thunder. Here's a new Thor cast expansion.
They're gonna. I want Beta Ray fucking Bill.
Hawkeye
I want
with a
Love
new
and Thunder
Hawkeye.
to bring in Beta Ray Bill.
That would be awesome.
It's
actually,
possible.
Talk about a strong teammate for her to have.
I think it's gonna happen.
Because Stormbreaker exists now, and that's what he wields, right?
Yeah, but it is different. Stormbreaker is just is another hammer in the comic. It's not the same Stormbreaker.
It's all gold and looks crazy.
Yeah, but they could also bring in what was Jeremy would know this off the top of my head. I cannot remember the axe that he actually has in the comics. Jorgen something.
Jägermeister.
Yeah, Jaeger. We're gonna call it that later.
Yeah,
no.
we'll call it that.
He has an axe in the universe once he gets his arm fucking cut off and he can't hold Mjolnir anymore. He has this axe that's like the axe version of Mjolnir. You could theoretically create like another hammer, name it after that because they already fucked up Stormbreaker as an axe anyway. So might as well they can interchange the names and give him a different hammer, and still.
You guys were right. It's Yarnborn.
Yarnborn.
Yeah.
I was close.
Yarnborn.
Me too. I was really close.
Yeah, so
it's like BJORN.
Yeah, so they could give him Yarnbjorn, and Tyler Calvert wants Throg. Yeah, we all want Throg, but
oh, that would be cool. Frog Thor, I'm in.
Frog Thor. Yeah,
I love crazy animals. Like, give me some more Howard the Duck too while we're at it, please. Just saying.
I think we'll get a Howard the Duck.
Somehow. I don't think he gets his own movie because there's too much stuff.
Disney Plus Howard the Duck TV.
There you
show.
go. Yep, there you go.
I could see that, or more Howard the Duck in the What Ifs.
You know who was tied to? Do you know who was tied to a Howard the Duck movie at one point in time? It's Kevin Smith.
No way.
Oh, damn.
Well, right now they have Seth Green, and outside of Robot Chicken, what's that guy doing?
Yeah.
Family Guy.
Yeah, Family Guy and Robot Chicken. So
you didn't think I knew anything that Seth Green was doing, did you?
Yeah, I actually forgot about that. He's Chris in Family Guy, to be honest. Well,
it's funny because when we first started talking about like the new phase, I think Jeremy said this. I wasn't super excited or super like, these seem not like what I expected. But actually, the more we talk about it, the more I'm excited to see how it kind of all plays out.
Yeah, no, it's just there's no like big like surprise.
All these things
because
we
everything got
knew
teased.
about. Yeah, everything got teased well in advance. We all knew about the Black Widow, the Loki, the Hawkeye, like all those things we knew about.
Yeah, well, it's
going into it. And there's been the whole Keanu Reeves as part of the Eternals thing for what, 4 months now?
Yeah, same thing with Angelina Jolie. Like I said, they've basically confirmed her casting almost a year ago.
Right.
So, but they just couldn't announce anything because of Endgame.
No,
it was bad timing. And it took a little bit of the oh my god moment away from dropping Phase 4, but it's still all really cool. I'm really excited about the movies. I'm really, really excited about the Disney Plus stuff. It's gonna just keep rolling, man. They're just gonna keep printing money.
Well, so we're only a couple months away from it launching. When you think about it, it's weird to think that it's literally right around the corner.
We'll get what Mandalorian is the first thing that we're gonna get on there, right?
Yeah.
The first major.
Plus catalog stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be a key of quality. What kind of quality are we going to experience? Which I think is going to be really high because it's from Disney. They got a crap ton of money.
So Manny brings up something. He says Cosmo will replace Rocket. No, you know what I want? I want a comic true talking psychic Cosmo and Howard the Duck as a team up TV show.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Those two in space.
Give me all the animals.
Yeah, those two in space would be great.
I will take all of the animals.
Yeah,
I forgot about Cosmo.
We do need another animal because Rocket's been such a strong character. It'd be cool to kind of see another animal sort of as his friend or somebody that he works with.
Nah, you can't
Who
replace
knows?
Rocket. Like,
No, not replace him. Just
Yeah.
add to his team.
it's
How
like
about-
trying
how
to
about-
when you have Ewoks and you try to bring in porgs.
No.
Doesn't work.
No, and then
See,
what we can
so
call
for Mandalorian, the only thing that I'm scared about is Star Wars. Like Star Wars has just been a mess lately, so I don't even know, man. I'm
Well-
less excited about that than I am for the Marvel stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rise of the Skywalker, I'm really hoping turns out good, and I hope Mandalorian plays into it.
Dude, it's August. We're getting really close to Rise of the Skywalker.
We
Yeah,
are.
that's the end of this year, dude. So, the other thing too, you guys bring it up, Jeremy. I know you kind of want this. I want Cosmic Ghost Rider.
no,
We already set up the cosmic stuff. I want Cosmic Ghost Rider.
No, well, just because like I said since he's such a recent addition to the comic to the comics,
Yeah.
I think it's a definite possibility just because he's been a huge success in the comics recently as far as introducing a new character.
Right. Just fucking be riding a motorcycle across the fucking universe. Like I want it. I want it so bad.
Well, like I said I still want. Honestly, I think, and I said I want this. Give me a standalone Silver Surfer movie.
Yeah.
I think
Silver Surfer would be cool. I bring up Cosmic Ghost Rider, but like, and not to discount the first Ghost Rider because it was bad, but it was actually entertaining to watch. The second one was awful. I really want them to do an actual MCU Ghost Rider too. Like that would actually be pretty cool.
and not
to
Robbie,
bring back.
not Robbie Reyes. Like
Yeah, like not like
actual-
ridiculous Ghost Rider, but like bring in a decent one. And yeah, I don't want Ghost Rider in a fucking car. Like I'm sorry, like Agents of Shield, I don't give a shit about the guy who drives a car. I want the motorcycle, flaming skull. I want
Johnny
I want Blaze back, man.
You want Nick Cage.
You know,
I don't want Nick Cage back. I
He
want him
was
to
in
maybe
Spider-Verse.
cameo in it. Yeah, like he was. Yeah, like with the 6 lines he had, he was great. Yeah, I don't want him back, but I would like to have a Ghost Rider show. If they're going to Dormammu, they're going into kind of these like alternate reality evils. It's Mephisto is not going to be that hard to
Mephisto.
to make, and then you get the idea of like the literal devil as we know him in comics.
Well, that's why you can have a Silver Surfer movie. Put Mephisto as the villain in that movie. You're set.
And it gives a chance for Silver Surfer, Ghost Rider. Like bringing in Mephisto would actually give a lot of credence to a lot of characters.
I agree.
Seems likely.
So we have that. Any other any other announcements that you guys were actually excited for?
It wasn't necessarily an announcement. I was just excited to finally see the trailer to the movie I've been waiting for forever. Jane Silent Bob reboot. So it was really cool to see that trailer. And I'm still not understanding how the movie's being released entirely, which is weird.
Yeah.
Because there's not an official release date. There's a Fathom event for the movie release, which is takes place over a couple of days, but there's not a nationwide release for the movie.
Yeah,
which is
and I'm
weird.
wondering if it's like after all those things go on, it'll go like a full release in the theaters. I'm really hoping that if you don't go to one of the it's not a setup where if you don't go to one of these events, you don't get to see it in theaters. I would be kind of upset with that. I would hope that they would go back and do like a wide release for it, but
I don't know, man.
Kevin Smith, there is a good chance that that's not going to happen.
Those $700 VIP tickets, like maybe they're just gonna bank their money that way.
Those things fucking sold out, so
Yeah. Scott and I were looking at that the other day at In-N-Out when we went to lunch at In-N-Out and got Neapolitan milkshakes. It was a good time. Shout out to In-N-Out.
It's the best.
it's the best.
I want to talk about one thing. I'm not really excited for it because Jeremy asked, is there anything else you're excited for? But let's talk about Top Gun Maverick because
I
don't know about.
kind of excited.
I don't know about you. Good. At least somebody is. At least because I don't know about you guys, but the one thing that all the random people I run into, like my mom, asked after I got back from Comic-Con was, "Did you see Tom Cruise?" Did anybody else get asked that?
I
know
quite a
you
few
did,
times.
Scott, because I know somebody at work asked us.
100% got asked about if I saw Tom Cruise. who showed up before I was even in San Diego. Like I got there Friday, and he was there like what preview night? I think was it or Thursday. So they were there Thursday morning.
The Paramount panel was Thursday morning. It was mostly right. It was supposed to be Terminator, but yeah, surprise guest Tom Cruise showed up to play the Top Gun Maverick trailer. Did you guys watch it? What do you think?
I did watch the trailer. I'm still curious as to what the movie's actually about.
True, because it didn't give away much.
Yeah, it did. It was a good
like old Tom Cruise.
No,
yeah, he looks so good.
Well, I also like how the movie takes place, I don't know, in current times, but they're still using all the jets from like the 1980s.
Yeah, he's still flying F-15s, which haven't been flown for how long? I'm wondering if it's going to be what the rumor was, that he was supposed to go back to become like a teacher at the school where the Top Gun original movie took place, right? Like they were in that like special program training. So I wonder if he's going back to be the teacher and following him as that. So I am a big fan of the original Top Gun. Like I'm not a Tom Cruise fan. I think he's batshit crazy. But Top Gun was actually a good movie.
But he's a good actor.
Yeah, he is a good actor.
Yeah, I saw the trailer too, and I gotta say I'm excited for what I saw. One thing that was really cool, and I watched an interview with Tom Cruise talking about the trailer, is that the aerial sequences where they're filming the jets and like you can see all the crazy maneuvers that they're doing and the sound barrier cones over the the jet when they're breaking the sound barrier. I mean, all that stuff is real, and they try to make it as realistic as possible, which I'm always a big fan of. Like, I don't want it to look fake. I don't want it to look weird. I want it to look realistic. And I think Tom Cruise, he has like a real passion for flying, so I think that's one reason why he's probably going back to the franchise.
Right. Well, I think this is a beloved character, right? And there was there's a lot more story that you could tell in that kind of movie thing.
Yeah. Well, and it's called Maverick, so it's about his life. And there's a scene that they show in the trailer, like, why are you like a commander? Like, how are you still a captain flying? And it's probably because he's clearly addicted to flying the jets. He doesn't want to move on in his career. Yeah. And then something happens where he's needed to fly, a squadron or something and save the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got, Manny brings up Iceman, Val Kilmer. They can't as much. I love Val Kilmer, but that man, like with everything going on with him, he's put on a little bit of weight. Like I don't know if he's going to be able to pull off the whole Iceman thing again.
He still can't talk.
Yeah, he still can't talk.
He's much different looking than he used to be.
He was at what's the MCM, like the London Comic-Con. He was there, I think, last weekend. And somebody I follow on Instagram got an autograph from him, but he was kept off on the side. Like they wouldn't let any cameras in the room with him and stuff. And the guy's like, yeah, he didn't look too hot, man. He can't really talk. He's kind of a mess. So I'm guessing like he's in this movie, right? Like maybe he's in the hospital or something. Like I don't know.
Maybe he's teaching at the school and his death like he dies, and then it makes Maverick show up to kind of take his place as the instructor. I don't know. We're having a lot of conjecture about and like fucking fan theories about.
I could give two shits about this movie, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, Night Bodega just did a pretty cool prediction here. What if Goose's kid is in the movie?
Ooh.
And Maverick trains Goose's kid.
Okay, so full disclosure, I haven't seen Top Gun 1. Who is Goose? Is that the guy from ER?
No, Goose.
Is that Anthony Edwards?
No, he's his
co-pilot.
His co-pilot?
It's his co-pilot who ejects into his own fucking the windshield on his own jet.
Yeah,
and dies.
The ejection fails and he goes up into it and dies, basically.
I want to. I kind of want to do a new podcast where it's like Larry watches all these 80s movies that he's never seen before. We'll do Top Gun. We'll do Friday the 13th.
Okay, no, okay.
I actually know who you could invite to that podcast. Our very own friend Bears and Tanks, because he's always watching those shitty movies from
the VHS movies. Yeah.
Larry, let's do it. We're gonna plan nights. You live over by me. We're gonna sit. We're gonna set up a recorder. We're gonna record us having a commentary track as we watch the movie, We discuss all the stupid shit that happens in those movies, and we will post it up. Done. Like it's on the
Mystery
books.
Science Theater.
Yeah, mystery like weird
same
science.
idea.
Like, come on, let's do it. Like,
There's
not
just
like
so
mystery science. Like, we're not redubbing the movie, but we'll just watch the movie and talk shit about it the whole time.
Shoot the Shit Guys Theater. How about that?
Yeah.
Oh god.
There we go.
Look, Jeremy hates it.
Jeremy is shaking his head.
You're just mad.
So mad about
Jeremy
Top
looks
Gun.
like he's about ready to throw up.
You're just mad because you're over there in Austin and you can't come hang out and watch Top Gun.
You can go watch all the fucking Top Gun you want because it's like it's I don't know. It's whatever.
Does it hold up?
Jeremy's like, I don't want to talk about this shit
It doesn't
anymore.
like.
Yeah, maybe that's a good stopping place. What do you think?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's just like there's so many. Like I said, it's just whatever. Like I don't know. It's so bad. Like I know people love it. I'm like I hate that movie. You know, and honestly, if I have to hear freaking Kenny Loggins, one more fucking time.
Danger Zone again?
Yeah.
I know that song.
Yeah.
What if they're gonna have a new Kenny Loggins?
Oh,
I don't know if he's still making music.
No,
but
that's already
like,
rumored that there's a new version of Danger Zone for the
Yeah.
fucking movie.
But it's got to be
like
it's got to be
can't
by like
Kenny Loggins again. Yeah.
no, it's got to be by like Post Malone or something.
No,
Yeah.
Taylor Swift.
No,
Yeah.
it'll
Sing
Going
in
into
Danger
the
Zone.
danger zone.
it'll
I like
be
Danger
or
Zone.
it'll be like it'll be like Danger Zone by Drake. Like it's
Yeah.
Jonas Brothers.
Jonas Brothers
Oh,
Danger
God.
Zone.
They are back.
They are back.
or
They
or
are back.
or what if it was like BTS Danger Boy of like Danger Zone.
Danger Boys. There you go,
Danger
Jeremy.
Boys.
Danger
Boys.
Boys by BTS.
But they don't really
that's
speak
great.
English, do they?
That's why it would be
stumbled on
great.
It doesn't matter. They can repeat what they hear. The highway to the danger
Hey,
zone. Like
Hey,
it's pretty
if that
easy.
Twice can do me likey, they can
Me
they can
likey, likey,
they
yeah.
can, they can do Danger Zone.
Yeah.
And Danger Zone.
Dude, Study Boy NZ, I am with you, man. That Top Gun was part of my fucking childhood. Like, I'm actually excited for whatever Jeremy has. I know you don't like the movie, but I'm actually excited for that shit.
You're gonna go see this in the theater.
I will 100% go see fucking
Right after he finishes Murphy Brown.
Yeah.
I gave up on that one. I still would watch that over. If you gave me the option that I had to finish one series, Murphy Brown or Sabrina, I would still choose Murphy Brown to this day. I still hate
Riverdale.
all-
It was Riverdale.
It was Riverdale.
Oh.
It's the same thing. I still hate all of them.
Riverdale had Luke Perry till he died.
Opening
Yeah.
up old wounds here.
Yeah, you're opening up the wounds, but I don't. Again, as Jeremy's shaking his head about thing, Riverdale, I can't give two fucks about Riverdale. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't give two shits about that show.
This is
What you feel
degrading
about
into
Top Gun,
what we
Jeremy,
hate.
is what I feel about like the whole little like Riverdale-verse or whatever they call it.
This has turned into hate, disgust, and things we are not looking forward
Scott,
to.
I'll leave with this. You're such a vagina.
Larry, give us a chill, shall you?
Let's call it that because we're just bitching now.
So, real quick, next week, episode 96 of the STS Guys podcast, we're going to talk about the Amazon original, The Boys.
I'm very excited for this discussion.
I am very
Yes.
excited for this discussion. as well.
So, I haven't started yet. I know the other three guys have. I know Scott said he really likes it. So, guys, go check out The Boys. It's on Amazon right now. If you got Prime, go watch it. If you don't, go sign up for Prime because Prime's awesome anyhow. But yeah, next week we're talking The Boys season 1 with a special guest.
It is literally
Ooh.
the best show on Amazon Prime.
It is
Hands
really
down.
good.
I will 100% agree with Jeremy on that one.
Alright,
It is
yeah, so
Amazon.
Scott, I
It is-
retract my vagina comment. You were
Yes, it is legitimately the best offering.
Oh,
No, it is. I would say Grand Tour is actually one of my favorites too, but I think this one was better than Grand Tour.
Well,
Different
Tour's
genre, different genre.
you're gonna have to tune in next week to see what
Yes.
you really think.
Stop giving it all away for free.
Yeah, you'll
Scott.
get our reviews. You'll get our personal thoughts. We'll even break down the show.
Episode 3.
Tune in next week.
So we'll break down episode 3, everyone's favorite episode and moment from that episode.
There was some greatness there.
There was.
Yeah.
All right. I promise I will watch at least one episode before next Saturday night. Stick to our social media to find out who that special guest is.
And go back and watch episode 94.
Yeah, go check
The
out
audio
episode
only
94,
episode.
right? Our Scott and I interviewed the voice of Connie on Steven Universe, Grace Rolick. She was awesome. It's only about 26 minutes, so give it a listen. Audio only, guys. It's a great episode. And stick to our social media. We'll find out who that special guest is for next week. You can find us on Instagram at STS Guys. We're on Twitter at STS Guys, and we're on the Facebook at the STS Guys. And I am Larry from the STS Guys.
Show him like a villain.
And then you love podcast, right? So
Of course we do.
You gotta fire up your app stores and go download the new podcast app, Podcoin. It's available on Android and iOS. What's Podcoin, you ask? It's the podcast app that pays you to listen to podcasts. That's right. You can listen to the STS Guys. You can listen to Talking Pops. You can listen to Pop Collectors Alliance. You can listen to DC Figures and Collectibles Podcast. We are all on Podcoin. And if you enter code STS Guys, you're going to get a bunch of bonus credits, and you can turn those credits into real-life rewards like Amazon gift cards. It's pretty awesome. Podcoin. It's the best.
It's the
It's
best.
It's the best.
All right.
At some point, somebody's gonna find out that we have
Ripped off London Gold.
I mean,
they're gonna let London Gold know that we're doing that, and London Gold's gonna be like,
You know what? I will
"Who the
gladly
fuck are these
take.
guys?"
I will gladly take their cease and desist letter and post it up on our social media platform
Oh,
when that happens.
100%. Like, actually thinking about it, that's actually pretty funny.
Oh, it's completely hilarious. All right.
I mean, I'll stop. I can come up with something else. Like,
No, I
Podcoin.
want to keep going. I want to keep going until we get the cease and desist.
I'd also like to give a shout out to ShumiStore.com. It's where I get all my Funko Pops and my Funko Pop protectors. But I also got all the brand new Funkoverse strategy board games pre-ordered up this week. That's right, Gen Con. Funko's bringing the heat with their new board games. You can get them on pre-order now at ShumiStore.com. And you know what? If you enter code STS Guys at checkout, you're going to save 10%.
Shout out to Shumi.
Shout out to Shumi.
Shumi, best protectors around, guys. The only pop protectors that the STS Guys trust to bring home their Freddy Funkos from Funko Fun Days.
They're the best.
Real quick, we posted up a bunch of San Diego Comic-Con stuff on YouTube, too. Nate did a bunch of unboxings. Jeremy and I opened our Fun Days stuff. So, stsguys.online. Go check out our videos. There's a lot of really good stuff up there.
It's the best.
Nicely done.
It's the best.
It's the best.
All right.
Larry went through everything, and he expedited it, and I don't think he skipped a beat there.
No.
Nicely done, Larry.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
So,
I keep
Jeremy,
forgetting the YouTube shout out, so
Jeremy, take it out.
All right. So
Scott's tired.
it's 12:30 in the morning over here.
Oh, never mind.
Like, I am actually concerned about Jerry.
And Jeremy was just doing international travel, whatever.
Well, you mentioned Top Gun, and he's tired. Now we've got a problem.
Yeah. For episode 95 of the STS Guys, I've been Jeremy.
Hey, it's Larry.
Hey guys, it's been Nate.
And I'm Scott.
And we're the STS Guys. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.